Hello there, people of the internet. So this is not normally something that I do, but I got this and I figure, you know what, just because I have a lot to say about it, let's go ahead and make a video on it. I'm normally a military surplus guy. As a matter of fact, my M96 Swedish Mauser is sitting right up there with some 38 357 Magnum reloads on top of it. But this right here is a BB gun. If that doesn't interest you, I understand if you want to click off of it, but this particular BB gun interests me, and that is because of this designation right there. It is called the 1866, and it is very clearly trying to mimic the Winchester model of 1866. Originally, the Winchester model of 1866 was essentially the 1860 Henry action with a handguard and a loading gate on the side. Not quite what we see here, but we do have a golden receiver on this thing. The 1866 did have, I believe it was some sort of brass, I think it was gunmetal actually, and it was chambered in 44 Henry rimfire, which at the time was a black powder cartridge. The French did not make smokeless powder until 1886, whenever the Lebel rifles came out. So anything before that, with some very rare exceptions, like for example gun cotton, was basically all black powder. So with 45 or 44 Henry rimfire being black powder, a lot of your earlier firearms were being made with, well, brass or bronze or gunmetal, etc., simply because it was not as susceptible, is that the word I'm looking for? Close to that. It was not as easily damaged by the corrosive elements of black powder in comparison to something like iron. Now, as cartridges would get more powerful, eventually the 1873 did have that steel, I think it was a steel receiver, but that did have some issues with maintaining and whatnot. It, like, if you're on the frontier, you don't necessarily have the ability to constantly keep your firearm clean, then constantly shooting black powder from it could potentially cause some issues, but that's a topic for another time. We're looking at this right here. So this is a .177 caliber air rifle. I have taken many squirrels and other small critters with .177 caliber air rifles. The reason I got this right here is because I have a squirrel infestation in my attic. I'm going to go squirrel hunting in my attic, and I don't want to have a bunch of holes in my wall. Like if I were to use a 22 long rifle, that would not be good, versus something like this right here where I don't have to worry about that. So this says it will shoot these BBs at 800 feet per second. So assuming that we're going off of that velocity, your typical .177 caliber regular BB is going to be about 8 grains. Now you can get heavier, like if you were to get full-fledged pellets and whatnot, you can get heavier if you felt like it. Then you can also get lighter if you hunt down lighter BBs. But on average, like the normal is about 8 grains. With that 8 grains moving at that 800 feet per second, we're only getting about 15 foot-pounds of energy onto our target, but at basically point-blank range, since I'm going to be in the attic, that's going to be more than adequate for taking out those squirrels. Ask me how I know. Like I said, I have taken out many squirrels over my years with a little BB gun. Not like this one right here. Actually, the one I had growing up was one of those Red Riders, and I think those only shoot at like 400 feet per second, so significantly less powerful than these right here, but those are still very good at taking out squirrels. I took out a whole lot of them growing up. As a matter of fact, that was one of my main food sources. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. I've already opened it before. As a matter of fact, I have some BBs in there. We're going to go ahead and make a couple of videos talking about the benefits of BB guns and whatnot. You get your little pamphlet with all your information that talks about a bunch of different things, and I went out and got myself some BBs. These right here, 2,400 BBs for like $5. That's one of the best things about these rifles. But we'll talk more about like BB rifles and their pros and cons later on in another video. I'll probably do that at some point. I want to actually have a look at this thing. Okay, so right off the bat, we definitely have our, well, very bright, shiny, hi, I see you guys. You guys can see my GoPro I used to record with. Our bright, shiny receiver, it says Barra, or however that is pronounced. We have an octagonal barrel made in China right on the side. Fantastic. I'm assuming the tube right here is probably our air tank for pressurization. We do have an adjustable sight. Adjustable for elevation. That is nice. I really like that. Front sight looks like it's just kind of riveted in place, so you probably won't be able to adjust for windage. Right here's our reservoir. You pour your BBs into there. I looked up the specifications on this rifle. It is 5.8 pounds, so extremely lightweight. And with it being lightweight, the ammunition is also very lightweight. 50 round capacity, so you can carry a lot of ammunition in this thing before you have to reload, and that's good because the reloading process is quite slow. So to actually get this thing ready to fire, right here is your little, I guess we're going to call it bolt. That comes back. And you see a little hole right there. That's your reservoir for your BB. It sits on this magnet. You push that forward. It loads a BB into the back of the chamber. I might test fire this with multiple BBs in that chamber, see how well that works. And right here's your air pump. You just kind of open this up and then you pump it up to 10 times according to the manual. So you get your 800 feet per second. I'm probably going to do more like 5 or 6. I don't know. I have not zeroed this either. I do see a little screw right here on this piece. Okay, so it does appear to be adjustable for windage. It's just adjustable for windage on the back piece. There's a little screw that holds the rear sight in place, and then you can move that left or right. So we are adjustable for windage, which is good. Not like you're going to be shooting at very long distances with something like this anyway. This right here is a non-rifled barrel, I'm sure. I'm willing to bet it's just smoothbore. So you're not going to get tremendous accuracy out of this. This is not exactly a sniper rifle. So all in all, I gotta say I'm impressed. I think I spent like $60 on this thing down at a local Walmart. So the barrel is metal, the octagonal barrel. This right here is definitely just, you know, a piece of sheet metal that's over the actual barrel, which is the .177 caliber. This right here, the air tank, which I'm assuming is the air tank, that is also metal. The wood is just plastic. So those, the stock and the handguard, those are plastic. And the butt plate, that is also plastic, but it is shining. It says 1866. The receiver, that is also plastic, and that's fine. This is a $60 gun, so I was not expecting like a tremendous level of quality. Right, here's your safety. The hammer, I'm sure a lot of people are curious about that. Pull that back, you see the little red mark, and that there means she is ready to fire. So, pull the trigger, it goes bang, pressure releases, and there you go. Whenever you're done firing, push your hammer forward, and that means that you're not going to fire. All in all, I'm very pleased with this. I'm going to test accuracy too. You see where this right here has been molded. It almost looks like the stock and receiver are one piece. I'm willing to bet that there's a solid possibility that they are. Does not look like our handguards actually held in place with this barrel band. I'm willing to bet that all this is just one solid piece of plastic made to look like the old school 1866 Winchester. So the 1866 Winchester was actually a top ejection design. It would be nice if they had something that looked a little bit more 1866 Winchester-like, since they're calling this the 1866. I'm willing to bet that this right here was probably modeled after the Kingsgate. Anyway, I'm probably going to go test this out. I think I got to go take care of those squirrels in the attic because they are causing some problems. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is my overview of the rifle. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Like I said, in future videos, we'll talk about pros and cons of an air rifle versus something like an actual powder firing chemical combustion rifle. So definitely some benefits for these. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you all on the next episode. while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.